Good evening. Welcome to Slice by Bryce, the podcast. This is episode 8 now. Getting into the month of May. Years flying by. We got a lot going on right now. Typically, we got the Fireman's Fair going on, which is a big event. A lot of good bands come play. Also in New Orleans, they have the Jazz Fest going on. So definitely a busy weekend in South Louisiana. Things have been busy with me as well. So for this episode, I have a special guest here to interview with me. It's Rachel Bergeron. She's a client of mine for a while. She's a full-time mom. She's also started powerlifting recently. She's made a lot of progress in fitness over the years. One thing I can say about her is she is no stranger to hard work. Overall, great person. So, Rachel, first off, I want to thank you for coming on. And just tell the audience a little bit about yourself, a little background. Who's Rachel Bergeron? Why did you decide to get into fitness in the first place? And kind of what keeps you motivated?
Thank you for having me. And so who am I? I am a mom, like you said. First and foremost, wife. I have 3 little girls, which leads me to my inspiration for sure. Having 3 daughters, wanting them to see their mom be healthy and the best that I can be. So that's kind of where I started. After I had my third, I was pretty overweight. I was feeling just kind of helpless almost. And I started with diet.
Right.
So that's, I think, the first thing that, people should focus on is diet. I think that's most important. So portion sizes, what you're putting in your body is so important. And after that, I started training. I think working with a trainer is
keeps you accountable.
Yeah. And just learning the ropes. So I didn't really have a particular interest, program or anything like that. I lost 70 pounds. After my third, we tried for a fourth and it didn't work out. So I kind of focused on myself after that. And that really helped me get into a better mental space, I think. So.
Right. Yeah, you definitely made a lot of progress over the years. And people notice, I remember whenever you started the gym and then whenever it was 2020 maybe?
That sounds right. That sounds right. Because, my youngest was born in 2017. So.
Right.
I mean, yeah.
Right. And what would you say are some of the top accomplishments that you made in fitness over the past few years?
Well, it's a journey. So, I started just making it a part of my routine was one accomplishment. Forming the habit of just going to the gym, showing up, even if you're just getting on the treadmill or something, maybe you're not sure how to introduce yourself to weights. Because it can be intimidating for a lot of people. So I started out just kind of trying to figure that out. Running the track or just things I knew how to do. Staying active. But like you said, I've always kind of craved intensity. That through training me, but I've always craved that intensity so that it sort of snowballed, I started that way. I started making getting some momentum with losing weight, feeling so much better. I don't think people understand how much better you feel. It wasn't about how I looked. I'm happily married. Think about it. My husband loves me the way he's always loved me no matter what. So it wasn't about that. It was about feeling good and keeping being able to run outside with my kids and
improving your quality of life.
Yeah.
And improving your longevity as well.
Exactly. Well, now I'm sort of on that track, so just thinking about those things like injury prevention and, that's so it's just taking small steps. I think that to get women more comfortable with strength training is a goal of mine.
Right.
Because I don't think women have been introduced to it enough.
And then the problem is we've come a long way.
Yes.
But they still do have a lot of women that are scared of the weights because they always say, I don't want to get bulky.
Oh yeah, it's so easy too,
Right. I mean, men and women's bodies are different. Men have a lot more testosterone, so naturally put on more muscle mass. Most women can't put on that type of muscle mass, but it helps you lower your body fat whenever you weight train. It increases your overall metabolism.
Yes.
And there's a lot of benefits to weight training and that's why everybody should do it in some capacity. Some people can do more than others. You gotta listen to your body, and like you said, you gotta take small steps.
Yeah, it's true. Just get comfortable, and then keep pushing yourself to further, improve or find something that you can be passionate about. So for me, it was powerlifting. Ended up being, where that led to. But
right, and yeah, that's one of the next things I want to check on. I want to touch up on it. That you got into powerlifting a few months ago. You did your first meet, hit some yards. Let's talk a little bit about that.
Sure. Yeah. So my first meet was in November. It's a state meet in Lafayette. It was awesome. It was so fun. My only goal for that was just to have fun.
Right. I'm sure your adrenaline was kicking too.
Yeah. It's like you got your music going. They call you up there. You get on the platform. It's just like you don't hear anything. You just gotta do it. So it was just really fun. Though we have a really cool team that lifted, and we had a good time. Yeah. Been hitting a lot of PRs, and I think this is going to be sort of a good year for me, building that base of strength to continue.
What are some of your maxes right now?
Oh yeah, so like I told you, I haven't done a single in a while, like a 1 rep max or whatever. My triples, I did 3 reps last week on comp lifts. So my bench was 135 for 3, which was a big deal for me.
Right.
It was like a struggle to get bench down, and then. Squat was 3 for at 253, and then my deadlift was 260. I'm just kind of inching up on my weights, slowly trying to keep, like I said, injury prevention is a big deal. Like I'm not trying to jump up too fast. I'm in it for the long haul.
It's all a process.
Yeah.
One step at a time. It takes a lot of patience.
It does. It teaches you patience.
Increasing your strength.
Right.
You'll start plateauing, and then you start.
Oh yeah.
It messes with your head when you don't feel those numbers change.
Because I know, for the longest time I was stuck at like a 225 squat, for 2, and I couldn't get 3, and it was months of that. But sticking to your program, trusting your coach,
right,
or trainer.
I'm definitely proud of you for sticking to it. And,
Thank you.
Pursuing it like you have. I know one of our biggest challenges was, like I said at the beginning, you're a hard worker. So when we were in the gym, you always felt like you had to become more.
Yes.
Overtraining
was
which a lot of people tend to shy away from doing that type of intensity with training, but you were always in the gym, and I know you, like I say, even though strange and hard work, but at the same time you were kind of overtraining. You felt like you needed to do a lot of cardio, a lot of weights. And
my central nervous system was just like always fried. So that was something I learned when I switched to powerlifting, and training in that sense, like can't just go full throttle all the time. You got to let your body rest.
Take long breaks.
Recovery is so important. Yeah. I'm only 4 times a week right now. So before that, I was there like 5 to 6 times.
Right.
And it was like, just hell would break loose. I was doing weighted planks. I was running myself, like.
Run 3 miles.
Yeah, like sprinting and, just wearing myself out.
It's too much stress on the body.
Yeah, exactly.
You weren't focusing probably on the recovery.
Yeah, so the recovery and like just learning how to focus, really hone in, is better, for building strength. So
right. And do you have any long-term goals with powerlifting?
I don't have any particular goals. I mean, I would love to. I would qualify for nationals, but I had only had 1 meet. I only just learned what powerlifting even was, So I just felt like I wasn't quite ready to take it on. And I've got 3 kids. And I can't just go to Atlanta for fun all the time, do things like that. So we just decided we're going to wait. I just wanted to kind of give it some time. And I think when I hit 40, I'll be what's called masters in powerlifting. So the age group will shift for me, and I think that'll be a little bit better as far as competition goes.
Right.
I'm at the end tier right now, so I'm like the old lady in the group of youngins. But it's okay. That's right.
So kind of like, I recently took up running. I ran the Crescent City Fast a few weeks ago. Tomorrow I'm actually running Fireman's Fair 5K out here.
That's awesome.
I'm excited about that. But I've been running 3 days a week. Of course, I've still been doing weight training, but I incorporated that just because I like the way it makes you, like, you feel good after you've done a long run. It gets those endorphins flowing.
Yeah.
Feel really good, and it helps you. You burn more calories.
Probably gets it's a good mental space too. Like I said, with weight training for me, it's like you can really just everything kind of gets quiet,
right?
Except what you're focusing on is
right.
Feeling. I feel like it's getting into your body. Not really do that at other times. So life is so busy.
It is. And it kind of gives you an escape. You can put your music on.
Yeah.
And just, just
That
go at it.
That was a shift for me. I usually always had music on, and now I'm like, when I'm with my coaches, just
right.
like,
Yeah, you can't.
I can't. So that was kind of weird at first, but now I'm used to it.
Right. You got to get yourself psyched up.
You got to psych yourself up. You don't have to have music on. You got to do it on your own.
It's different probably because you have to take like 3 to 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Sets. Make sure you have full strength.
Which is a struggle for me too.
Yeah. The one thing we were working on was like, all right, we got to come in.
You would be like,
yeah. You got to take on the risk.
Yeah, it's true.
But it's definitely a big adaptation, with running. Definitely making progress. But I wanted to challenge myself and kind of take myself out of my comfort zone. I mean, I've been weight training for a while, so I'm mastered the weights. I wanted to try something new, and I'm enjoying it so far. So I also know you have a passion for cooking.
Yeah.
That's one of your hobbies. What are some of like your top favorite healthy recipes? Things that you cook?
Yeah, people ask me about that a lot. Lately, it's been just because again, life is busy with 3 kids and they're all in school. They all have hobbies of their own, and it gets just a little hectic. For me lately, it's just simplifying, thinking about your protein, your carbs. I try to get veggies in every meal, but like I don't know, simple things like I did bang bang salmon bowls a lot the past few weeks. They're really good. Little tip would be, I think it's like more complicated than it should be. Like just don't overcomplicate it.
Right.
Just keep it simple. Like saute your veggies in some olive oil, just a little bit, season it, and that's your veggie. Then some just basic chicken is fine. Like you don't need to have a big fancy meal all the time. Because that can become overwhelming.
Right.
You try to meal plan or
stick to the basics.
Yeah, and just throw that in every now and then when you got the time. But so that's how I've been doing it. Like a lot of ground turkey, or lean grass-fed ground beef with avocado and things like that. Rice, just plain rice.
Right.
I don't really get too crazy lately.
Right.
But when my kids want something, it's like, we'll do like a stew or whatever. I kind of focus on ingredients. So if a recipe calls for like vegetable oil for a roux, for instance, I've switched to like avocado oil. It works just the same, it doesn't change the flavor.
Yeah, I was going to say by the time it's cooked, nobody's really going to be able to tell.
Yeah, and it's
like
tasty. Exactly, yeah.
Small shifts. Yeah. But like you said, just stick to the basics, that's pride.
If you're struggling with that, I think, I struggle with the time, and my husband Brian cooks a lot with me too now, so that's really good. We just kind of try to plan meals for the week. On Sundays we cook a bunch of meals and have them ready to go.
Right.
Because that's where you get in trouble, if you don't have something prepared.
Oh yeah,
for
sure.
You end up, just I'll grab this out the freezer or whatever,
Right.
And that freezer, actually, we've been doing a lot of freezer burritos, so meal prepping that's been really helpful.
Yeah, and like having them like a freezer, deep freezer coming in, because if you cook in bulk, like you can cook a large amount of meals. Save some for the week, but then save some in the freezer too. That way,
for those, when you're in a pinch,
get busy.
That's right. That's what we
pull some out of the freezer.
It really is helpful. So
mix it up.
Yep. You could just go, nope, I'm just going to eat this burrito.
I cooked burritos 3 weeks ago. I forgot I had some in the freezer.
Exactly.
And I would also recommend people getting into gardening, because when you have your own garden, you save money. 2, the produce that you get from the garden isn't going to have all the pesticides and stuff from the store is going to have. And I mean, it's convenient. You cook something that's going into the garden and pulling out
what you need,
right there. And the flavor's better too.
You get your little therapy session in your garden. Yeah, it's true. Get you outside. I tell my kids all the time, let's go touch the grass. Like they've been inside a while,
Time to get some fresh air. So I would recommend that to anybody. It is an investment, with time, and you have to put a lot more work into water every day. Make sure you constantly get into something like you got necessary, full weeds, fertilize, all that good stuff. So it's a lot of good into, but it's worth it. So I like that. So going forward, I know we talked about your goals. Do you have any other goals that you shoot for the rest of this year in 2026?
So I told you I was working on my personal training certification, so I'm chipping away at it. Like I'm sitting at Janie's football practice and I'm studying just when I can. So hopefully this summer I'll get most of it done. And take it on client shoot to become a coach for powerlifting. So yeah, I think that would be a good alignment for me. So
yeah, no, I agree.
Yeah. Other than that, just being a good wife and mom to my kids. Yeah.
Keep doing what you've been doing.
Yeah.
That's great. Definitely some great goals for the next year. Do you have any other hobbies or sports that you're involved in, or that you were involved in?
I was honestly never like a sports kid. Like, I played rec sports, baseball, whatever. But when I was a little older, I played roller derby for a few years. That was pretty interesting. I love to roller skate. It's just really fun. Every time kids have a birthday party, they gotta go to roller skate. We skate around the neighborhood like the crazy lady on roller skates, but it's so fun. It's good exercise too. Exactly. A lot of therapy going on in my life. And then other than that, hobbies just I like to paint. I do watercolor paintings, draw, things like that. Some painting.
I'm sure you did all that at the beginning of the year. Lately I've been kind of busy, so I've been kind of juggling everything. But I definitely enjoyed it. I did a few different books. Even though one of my good friends
Yeah, it's really fun, and it's something I can do with the kids too. So that's really nice. Yeah, we play a lot of I try to get the kids off screens, and we don't do a lot of screen time stuff. So if it's a rainy day, we're playing board games or cards or drawing or whatever. So
that's important to train for your mental well-being too.
It's true. People don't know how to be bored anymore. I tell them all the time, it's okay. It's good to be bored. Let your brain wander.
Right.
Instead of being stimulated by a screen all the time.
Mm-hmm. No, absolutely. And I know you also like music. A lot of my other guests I've had on asking about their gym playlist.
Yeah.
If you pick 3 artists that you like to listen to when you're working on taking a job or doing your powerlifting, who would be 3 artists that you would choose? Your top 3.
This is a tough one. Because it changes a lot. They don't know my mood. So I'll just say what I've been listening to lately, which is a band called Beach Bunny. It's a little kind of pop band, but they're a little punkish. And then BBES, give it a try because they're really good.
What genre?
It's sort of like punk, I guess. Yeah.
Alternative.
Yeah. Sort of beachy though.
Yeah.
California rock,
Yeah.
Third one, I don't know, there's something heavy in there because every now and then you need that psych me out.
Rage Against the Machine.
I would say Refused.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna check
them out.
What is social media? I know you recently started a fitness page. What's your handle for that in case somebody wants to follow you, keep track of your progress?
Sure, it's Ray Berg Lifts. Yeah, I just wanted to separate. My personal page has a lot of my kids. Nobody needs to see my kids except people that I know. This one's just strictly lifting, and then when I become, a trainer or coach or whatever, I'll have that. Yeah.
Yeah, I always recommend somebody have a business page too. So people want to reach you, or whatever. It's easy.
Yeah.
You can really network. It gives you a good opportunity to network with different people, different coaches, and whatnot. Pick up clients too.
Right. Yeah.
Explore different avenues. Well, is there anything you want to add?
No, but I do need to thank you because you got me into weight training. I was pretty lost, and I remember I was training with Tina for a while. Shout out to Christine, and she was great. But when she left, I was kind of all right, I think I can figure it out. And then maybe a month in, I was like, I need to know.
I remember when you approached me.
Yeah. I was like, I'm kind of lost. I think my form is pretty terrible on most of these lifts, and I want to get it right, which is another thing people don't understand. Focus on form.
Right.
Over trying to lift crazy heavy. We don't need ego lifting. We don't need, just focus on your form, get that down, and that is your base, and then you go from there.
Right. Focus on the form first. Everything else is going to fall in line.
Yeah.
Strengths and the muscle where you're going to build muscle.
And that takes time. I don't think that's another thing I think people need to understand. It all takes time. You have to be patient. It's a journey. Sounds cheesy, but it is. Just gotta take one step at a time. And if anybody has any like trouble with motivation comes and goes. Like we talked about that too. You're not gonna be motivated every day. You just have to develop the habit of maybe I don't feel like going today, but I'm still gonna go. I'm just gonna show up and do my best,
Right.
And then, that sort of translated for me into now what makes me happy is doing these things, and eating healthy.
Right.
If I eat fast food or something, there's nothing wrong with it. I'm not dissing it. I'm just saying that's what makes me kind of like I don't even want to anymore. Yeah. That goes away.
Feel bad.
Yeah, it's not. It's just you don't feel
like you
your
still
best.
work out. You're like, oh.
Yeah, exactly. So that's the other side of it,
Like I was saying a few episodes back, I mentioned you focus on having 3 daily wins: the spiritual wins, the mental win, the physical win. The physical one would be your workout.
Yeah.
Whatever type of physical activities you do. Your mental win can be stimulation brain and positive. Right. Spiritual win, church, good use. I think everybody's those 3 things. It improves the quality of your life.
Yeah.
It's like snowball.
Everybody can do that. Yep, sounds good.
So you guys started 2 months ago. So right here, you got some cherry tomatoes. Great thing that you can use in the salads and whatnot, pastas. I kind of compost, so like I'll put like banana peels and stuff down around some of the plants, and that helps. So like you get different nutrients, so that you get potassium and nitrogen, and that helps some of the fruits blossom get big. So it's a good thing to do. So right here, I have some regular tomatoes. See, like this one right here. It's getting close, so it should start ripening soon. In the middle right here, we got some basil. So basil is a good companion. They call it a good companion plant. I mean, it's good for cooking too, different pastas and whatnot. But in the garden, it has that scent the way it helps repel certain insects away from the plant. So it's a good thing. See on this side, so I got some different varieties of bell peppers right here. We got green bell peppers. We got some red and yellow. So in the middle, we got jalapenos and banana pepper. Actually, the one right here, this is a cayenne pepper. Potted banana pepper plant right here. Right here, we got some different herbs. We got some purple basil. And then we got some more bell peppers. Zucchini, eggplant. These are getting pretty big right here. And so I got squash on it. So I actually harvested some squash recently. Got a good big grown. That's watermelon plants right here. The watermelons, they kind of hit or miss. I know a lot of people that have tried growing watermelon in the past, and they say it's hard to grow out here in South Louisiana because of the climate. Right here, we got snap beans. So these are starting to flower. We should have some beans soon. Cucumbers all over the place. That should start producing soon. A lot of flowers. Right here, we got the celery. I love celery. I eat a lot of celery, so I had to have that. You can see, the stalks are starting to come up. In the middle right here, got some flowers called marigolds. These are good pollinators. They attract bees and whatnot. And the pollination is good for different plants like the cucumbers and the squash that flower. It helps produce more fruit whenever you got those pollinators in the garden. But that's about it. So this is definitely a big thing for me, and I'm definitely going to keep gardening in the future.